the music send out to the younger generation? Do you think drill music is a dog whistle that
I'm sorry, you totally cracked up on me there. I couldn't hear it very well.
I think my internet's just gone down.
Yeah, man.
I can hear you a little bit clearer now.
I think the key question that stands out to me is, do you think drill music is a dog whistle? But I wouldn't necessarily drill. I would probably say like grime and rap. Is it more kind of, does it influence people to kind of go down the violent route?
Sorry, the last question you have is to kind of find out what Lucy's been doing. But if you start with that, then you can kind of lead into music and the community and how it meshes. And then you can branch off into this, because it looks like the harder questions are at the top. Lucy, have you had a chance to look at the questions or seen the?
No, where have they been sent?
Yeah, they sent it to you.
Where are they? Are they?
They are with the. I sent you them with the. Hang on a sec. Where are you?
Are they on my WhatsApp from last week?
Yeah. It says questions to Lucy Harvey, episode 6.
Yeah, sorry, Jasmine, that's me. I've got them here.
Nice one.
Let's just blame holiday brain. So, do you mean since COVID, how do you manage to connect with your community, and tell us how? Yeah. So, are we going to go with that first question?
Yeah.
I'm thinking just to introduce yourself first, rather than that first question, and then the questions will be at the bottom of the screen anyway. But I'll do the tell us, any programs you're running and how you get involved in the thing. Just introduce yourself first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give you guys a little 30-second rundown. Then you guys will be on. Yeah.
Cool.
Put myself on mute.
So what's going on, everyone?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So we're gonna do like a quick introduction to everybody. So as everybody knows, I think you guys have seen me for the past 4 episodes. Five episodes.
5.
I'm Omoy, and I'm joined along with, if you wanna say something, Monty. Angelina, are you going to talk?
Are we on mute? Angelina, we're on mute.
You're on mute. Yikes, there's some serious technical difficulties.
We love technology, don't we?
We actually do.
I mean, we're grateful that we can connect like this, though, yeah? Like, this is mega.
Yeah, for real.
Sorry, technical issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Angelina here. Unfortunately, our other co-host won't be able to join us today, but and we wish him well in everything he's doing right now. And last but not least, we have Miss Lucy. So Lucy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. So my name is Lucy Harvey. I am a radio presenter in Manchester and advocate for mental health and love working within my community.
That is good. So, like, just to kind of like break the ice, you say you like working with your community and being a radio. So it's like, how do you kind of balance those two together?
It's hectic, but I think being a part of a community radio station helps me engage with the community a little bit, because of obviously we have that outreach, we have the airwaves for a little bit. It's just a chance to just give some good energy off, like uplift people with music. We all know how much we can all connect or resonate with different music, different genres, and I just love playing it on the airwaves. And we have like a new show concept. I have a co-host who's absolutely lovely. She's called Leah. The show's called Sunaroo. Now, obviously, my email is the TYT show, right? And the idea was to take you there. So when people were sending me the music, I was able to, uplift people and take them to a higher place, a higher frequency. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
And in chatting with like my friend Leah and her becoming a co-host, we got chatting. We're both Aquariuses. It was like, what's our ruling planet? And it was only going to be that our ruling planet was Uranus, wasn't it? So we decided to switch it up and take people there without them even knowing, and just turned it around backwards. And it says Sunaroo. So it's like a sunny place, Sunaroo.
Yeah,
So it's like a planet that we've created, might be a bit backwards, but you know what I mean?
Creativity was there.
Exactly. I think creativity is key in this kind of industry we're all in. And it's a good
definitely.
We're talking about the industry at the same time, because it's like, as a radio host, I think it's different for people as like being an artist or a dancer. Like, it's a different type of world that you're going into, because it's like every industry has different politics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's hard for women. Like, we have to work so much harder, because it's almost like we have to prove ourselves that little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Undermined.
And like, it's just the whole stereotypes that are attached. And I'm sure as Black women, you understand so much how it feels to, be sort of quietened in a room, or like, when it comes to expressing your feelings, you're too loud, or you're too this and that. And it's just like, well, wait a minute. I'm relevant, and what I'm saying is very relevant. And these barriers shouldn't be an issue for us, whether it be the color of our skin, our religion, our ethnicity, or our gender. You know what I mean? Like, how silly does it sound when you lay it out? It just sounds bizarre to me, doesn't it? Like, why do we have to do these things? We should all be equal. The only way we're going to get anywhere is if we all work together and all sort of sing from the same hymn sheet.
No, that's so true. And I know this is like not one of the questions, but as you was mentioning gender, and you are in a more male dominant area, how do you feel as a woman presenter who is breaking down that kind of stereotypical barrier, instead of like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, I feel totally empowered, but what makes me feel even more empowered is the fact that I can empower other women with that. Like, that is the most empowering thing, knowing that you're not just holding it to be empowered and abuse your position or your privilege. You're able to pass that on and be like, no, come on, we all eat, you know what I mean? We all prosper, and we all are getting involved and just becoming more in unity with things. Like, we mentioned on one of the shows today that I did, there was research, and I can't remember where it was. I'll have to try and find it for you and send it over. But there was like research done that within media, only 16% were women. So within the media industry, like as a whole, it was 16%. And I was just like, no, this can't be right. And Leah was like, mate, honestly, I'm gonna show it you. And she did. And I was just like, wow, I was blown away. I was just like,
you know what? I actually thought the media was more of a like
women sing.
More of a female dominated area. I didn't know it was
but like, so let me refer to like Annie, Annie who sings Pen Back Girls. Yeah, she says, never want to put us in the media, bro, and all that kind of thing. And she's like, she's basically saying that, you know, you just want it for the numbers, for it to look that way. So they put women in the light so that it looks like it's a women dominated industry, maybe. Do you know what I mean? So you see more women in the front line, but actually there's lots of males that are in the background directing it and doing all that kind of thing. So I think, you know, it's nice to see more women doing stuff. Today I received Ellie Ramsden's book as well, and she's a photographer based in London. Also another amazing woman doing amazing things for women. I've got the book here. Let me just give it a quick.
Yeah, show us the book. Like, we want to kind of just,
So this is the book. Is that all right? Can you see it?
Move it back a little.
Shit, you can see like, oh.
Yeah, we can see that now.
Yeah. But literally in it, it's got like all different women. So this one is Kat Park. Okay. And she was the former manager of Channel U and AKA. And I just think like having all of these women within this book, loads of MCs, and, you know, women DJs and like presenters, Madders, MC, Cherie Lewis. There's so many, and they've got like little written bits that they've put in, and she's got like, you know, like places in London, like loads of different like buildings that are just like your regular places. All the photography's been done by her.
That's amazing.
It's just amazing just to see women doing just groundbreaking things. Like yes.
I think we need more of that. I think, and especially in this day and age where we have young girls like myself growing up in a male-dominated industry, where we need that kind of extra power and that extra push to kind of, you know, get us somewhere. Because like nowadays, I think we're promoting the wrong thing for women empowerment. If I'm, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I mean wrong thing, I mean like, you know how we got the Megan Thee Stallions and stuff, and it's like the way how you can be.
We just get sexualized, and that's how they look at women, is just sexy and nothing else. They can't work, or it's either old school, going back to cooking, cleaning, being a housewife, being a mother, babysitting. That's all you can do. You can't be a firewoman, can't be a policeman, you can't do anything that's life threatening because that's a male job.
Exactly.
Literally, that takes us to a point where we're currently doing a bit of a platform for women where I've got an interview with Vicky Terry, who played for the England, well, who does play for the England rugby team. And we've spoke about gender pay gap and the fact that like a male rugby player gets what he gets paid for like one game is what a woman gets paid for the whole season.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge gender pay gap. What's going on? And it's like the facilities, are the facilities as good for the women as they are for the men? Is there things that can be done to make sure that these people can sort of you know, mix a little bit more and train together? Because if women can offer good benefits to the men and the men can offer good benefits to the women. So there's, you know, we're hopefully speaking to a girl called Sophia who's currently doing like Formula E. So she's in Paris. My friend Chelsea is a firefighter. So she's doing a little video for us. And another girl is a mechanic at Land Rover. So they're just going to give us their, you know, their view on what it's like to work in that industry and reassure other women as well to be able to know that you can reach for these goals. And the workplace just needs to learn to become more flexible to working mums, because working mums are fully capable of doing a really cracking job, but it's got to be more flexible. I've got to be able to go and get my children from school and drop them off and stuff, because the logistics of working and paying childcare, it doesn't make sense. The benefit system doesn't work. So, you know, there needs to be some sort of flexibility within these, and these are things that we need to just open up the conversation a little bit more for people to talk about and just be aware. And like you say, Amoy, young girls like yourself, you want to be educated properly. Like you want to be you want to be that person who hasn't been put into this educational box from what school or college have expected you to fit in with their narrative. You know what I mean? Like, we did research, well, not we, my friend again, she was at uni and she has done PR. She's recently qualified, like literally just last year. Lovely Jan, shout out to Jan. She did this research and she went into different communities within Manchester, and the statistics showed that basically, I think it was like 80% of the BAME community don't know what PR is or what some of the media terminologies are when it comes to the working industry of media. And I think that is because within our society, the school and the educations that we get within different boroughs can vary sometimes to the community and the society that it's in. So I think, you know, some people are deprived of them things, and a lot of kids don't have any aspirations. Like they think that, you know, having a dream is like, it's a dream, that's all it is, you know. To kids, they're not taught like, no, your dream can be reality. Like, if I knew I could manifest all this kind of stuff earlier, believe me, we would have been here so much sooner, but all in divine order. Do you know what I mean? So
that's big facts. Like, I believe in that one 100%.
But then that leads us into the questions that we had in regards of how you kind of connected with the community throughout kind of COVID, especially being a female.
Yeah. So I have been lucky enough that obviously having the radio show, I do every Tuesday, 10 till 1, 92.8 FM. Plug it there while I can. I'm joking. But yeah, I do it every Tuesday, and because of obviously the restrictions, meant that people weren't allowed to mix. So there's only one person in the studio, just like there is just one person of me at home, kind of thing. So I was able to go into the studio during COVID and still be able to have the show, which was really nice because of the lives just always went off. We did like loads of different sort of like guess the year, where we played tracks and people had to guess the year that we were playing, or we did like sample to sample, where, you know, we had like J. Cole or Outkast and all of the like samples that they've took from like some old school tunes, and people trying to guess them and stuff, which was really, really good. And I think it is like, it's all about just having an energy that is infectious to a point that, you know, you can't help but smile.
Of like energy and being infectious as well, we have the question of drill music. So, okay, cool. Everybody knows music, as much as some people like to disagree, music does kind of push certain energies out. Like,
influences people so badly.
Like, me, for example, and I was saying this to like my cousin, if I was to play a Jamaican tune, right, that was like, I would say a more gangster Jamaican tune, I feel a bit more, you know, like
big. You're bigging up your chest.
No, like I'm really feeling it. I know it kind of brings out a certain energy. So do you feel like drill music is like a dog whistle that perpetrates like violence, and it like kind of gives violence an extra push and makes it look like it's cool?
So this is, it's one of those questions, isn't it? And people aren't going to like some of the things that you say, but you can't please anyone, can't be everyone's cup of tea, can I? Otherwise we get taken for a mug and that, you know what I mean? But talking about our influences, my stepdad is from Jamaica, Amoy, and I went to Jamaica when I was 14, and I swear to God, that was the first time my mum had seen me like proper dirty wine. And she was like, what have you been doing? Where have you learnt to do this? And I was like, been watching bass, mum. I used to stand in front of bass for days, thinking I was Aaliyah, like back and forth, rock the boat, all the rest of it, or a bit of Mariah Carey with Honey and that.
Love it.
But this is how I was influenced. I was influenced by music from my parents, the music that they listened to, what gives them good energy. Like literally, it does give you a feeling. It gives you an emotion. That's why it connects with so many people. It connects with them because when you're going through a hard time or when you're going through a time of struggle, you know, listen to so it'll escort you to that place of anger and being able to express your deepest emotions, you know what I mean? But it's how it is worded. Now obviously we've had interviews doing the Hip Hop Archive with Lady Tame, MC Lady Tame. Now she's a MC from like the 90s, absolutely mint in her element. You know, I think she went to an audition to do what was the role of Betty Boop, but they tried to change her, and she was proper like into tracksuits and all that kind of thing, proper like hip hop, and they wanted to put her in a tutu and be this sort of what they envision on the media, you know what I mean? And Betty Boop got that role, and that's what obviously she looks like or whatever. But MC Lady Tame was saying how, you know, give them their right that they feel this is their story that they are expressing. Like I sort of think that our generation maybe or the generation maybe a little bit before me created grime, and that was our way of expressing and creating a new music. Now I feel like maybe the younger generation feel like maybe that grime's not for them because they've not spent the time to listen to it and understand it or whatever, and that's not for them, and they've felt the need to create something else. I see some of the drill that I've listened to as being quite angry or aggressive, and you know, I have met people who do like drill, and their like way of seeing it, which I thought was really nice, because these are guys that I've met more recently. They have created something called the drilling room. Now they're trying to change that concept. So obviously I've said, they wanted my help at first, and they was like, oh, Lucy, you're going to get involved, like we think you'd be great and all that. And it's like, I really want to, because I know that what it is that you're doing is great, but it's going to be so hard to change people's opinion that's already been set in place now. Like, how are we going to ensure that this is clean? Because a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, I don't want to play. I can't play that in my car. I'm a mom. I can't listen. And, you know, talking about influential women, I can't play the likes of Cardi B. Like, what are you talking about? Wet ass pussy for? Why? Why are we doing this? No one wants to know. You know what I mean?
You know what? I think it's become like, I think there's like a positive and negative, like my mum said in the comment. There's a positive and a negative to it. The positive side is you're more comfortable to put out, like where it's okay for you to put it out because we're in a world where everything's okay to say. And then the negative side is, some people might not take that in and understand that that's just you talking. So the way how I'm going to connect it is with drill music, it's someone's story. Like I've listened to drill music where it actually tells me a story, where I'm like, all right, cool, I actually like this, because there's certain
yeah.
But when it's the ones that are promoting the violence, like I just stabbed man the other day, and you're snitching on yourself. 1, 2, what? Why do you need to?
Are you just boasting about killing someone's son because of, imagine if it were, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a mother. I don't want to think that young men or women are even contemplating these kind of thoughts. You know what I mean? And, you know, I think there's a guy from London, Peter Francis. He's wrote a book, and it's called Consequences, and that talks about these kind of things. You know what I mean? Like,
now me and mum knows this one. He was on the Rudy Liquid show.
Yeah.
So it was all mum.
Yeah.
But I've seen that one where his book is like proper. And I
Yeah,
think
it's important, isn't it, to be talking about like these things and making these kids aware, because of, do you know what? Like, yeah, I totally give the ones the credit that they deserve, you know, when they are actually thinking about the music that they're making and this thought that goes into it, and there's a piece of them that has gone into that tune, you know what I mean? Because that's what music's about. It's about expression, expressing yourself. A piece of that.
Red juice, please.
If that is their therapy, and you know how they have digested, that is amazing, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. But like you say, when they're talking about things like stabbing someone, or like talking about racking up drugs and stuff like that, or like guns, that, I mean, some of these boys, and I call them boys because some of them that I've heard, and believe me, I get sent all sorts in my radio inbox, you know what I mean? But some of them are talking about guns that are probably too bloody heavy for them to even pick up. So it's quite frustrating. And you just think, why are you talking about it? It is that cool factor. But really, you know what's so much cooler? Someone who's like so articulated with the words, and they've got like rhyming syllables, like, or Ocean Wisdom. He did the Charlie, you know, Charlie Slothfire in the booth. He did one of them, and he did like a full 3 minutes, first time, like no stopping, all on one word, like a bull. The rhyming word was a bull, like capable. And he just, the whole 3 minutes, every word rhymed with that word, all on one rhyming word. Like that's talent, that is effort that someone has put into making their music, and a thought process. Like, that's amazing. So I think what's hard for artists now is because there's so many, and there's so many artists and so many people who want to make music. Like, anyone can make music now, you know what I mean? I think it's harder for those ones that have been working at it for a real long time. Get heard.
I think it's half and half, because talent will show regardless of what anyone. It just takes time. And with me now, like as me being an artist myself, I can make music without me swearing, without me using any profanities and making it sexualized or anything, and you can still hear the pain in my voice. You can still have a story, and it kind of links in like to another question, which is how we educate our younger generation through music as an artist, and in general, like how we educate them and how we educate them to move. Like,
do you think that violence is a selling point though for Amoy and Lucy? Do you think them, all artists that are using violence and grime and knife and gun culture, is that a selling point for them, especially for the young people? Does it sell them that fantasy into reality, and does it sell their music?
I think for a certain amount of time, yeah. But the problem is the sustainability of it. Like, when I think about like what Jasmine's just said there, 90s artists promote peace, love and unity, and these millennials could learn so much. Like, when I think back and go through like my track list and listening to like R&B, and I listen to like Jaheim, John B, and listening to these guys and thinking, this is how they spoke about women. This is how you meant to speak about women. Not about having them in the back of my car, 3 of them, and I'm going home with them to do whatever, you know what I mean? Took all 3 out the club. Like, we're not interested. We don't like, sorry guys, I'm so warm. Literally, you know, being able to have them like express themselves like that, and it's just really good. And being able to educate these younger ones through music is something that the older ones need to do more of pushing, you know what I mean? And I think take back the reins a little bit sometimes, you know. I think these ones who have already got the platform, like, take back the reins and just be like, no, it's not about, like, I look at artists like Bugsy and Chip, and look at the rivalry that they had, and it was so like exposed, like, and so known about on social platforms. But look how they've come together and done a track, and the things that they spoke about in that track, like, are even better. So it's shown that actually publicly, they can have a falling out, and it can be over just really stupid petty stuff, or it could be over something serious, but ultimately, you know what I mean, they can come together and make magic happen, you know what I mean?
Speaking of like their kind of beef, I kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie.
Stir in the pot, boy. Just
no, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you from like I'm gonna tell you from my perspective.
Yeah.
Instead of you going out beefing each other, fighting, go bar for bar. Like, I actually love a good bar for bar. Like, I don't think I actually get a throw out of it, because I'm thinking, who's got the best bars now? Like, because it's, if you know, back in the days where you had clashes, like sound clashes. Like, well, this is from my dad's and my mom's day, but you know, I hear about the sound clashes. But you know, when two sounds clash, and it was just like, you know, who's better than who, and whoever gets bigged up by the crowd is the best.
But does battling then lead to kind of rivalry that then leads to dissing and cussing? Because music has such a big influence. Battling, like with a dance battle, I love dance battles because they're just so fun and they just entertain you, like coming from a dancer's perspective. But coming from music, you've got kind of you hype up each other. But when it comes to music, it's like everybody's cussing each other. They're not actually battling the bars. It's like, can we attack? Who can we attack? Are we physically going to attack you? Mentally going to attack you? Does that not influence people to then be like, okay, I'm going to make a song, I'm going to dish you and dish your mum and dish your gran and dish your family?
I know, but I think, you know, some of these... Oh, is that all right? I just got a load of back feed then. When it comes to these kind of battles, like, growing up, I watched a lot of like Shotty Horror doing battling and stuff like that, and absolutely loved him. I think he's absolutely mint. But I think in getting yourself into those circles, there has to be a respect sort of between people, that, you know, no matter what it is that you're saying, you know, it's purely for the fun of it, and it's not to be taken personal. It's purely for the art of being able to rhyme these mad different words all with each other. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. And that's what I was kind of getting it from as well. Like, I was saying, if you respect it, then you would understand that, you know, that's the way how you go about a situation. So it doesn't lead into the violence or the punching and stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, so if you respect a battle, then you would be like, you know what? I lost fair and square. That's it. Like boxers. When boxers get punched up and they lose, like, they lose, isn't it? They just lose a battle, and what you have to do, you got to fight for it back. That's how you go about. That's how I believe we should go about stuff. Like, especially in the music industry, radio industry, and the whole entertainment industry as a whole, to teach younger people how to go about situations. Because I feel like we can really take the violence off the streets.
Yeah.
Because no one's telling you how to do it. They're just taking it upon themselves and listening to people who don't know no better.
Yeah,
that's it.
The thing is, you know, when it comes to battling, is American shows like Wild and Out. It's controversial because some people take it to heart, like Amoy said, and some people actually just walk off and it's a joke. But how do you get youth nowadays to kind of take things not for face value, in a sense of, I think youth nowadays take something minor and make it into a major thing, like, oh, he said this, okay, I'm going to fight him. How do we come and keep people mellow and just like, it's a joke, have some humor, it's not personal, they may not know you, but they're dissing you. It just, how can younger people understand that and be like, okay, cool, he said this about me, I'm going to say it back? I mean, it's a tit for tat in the music industry, but it's reality. And that's when then people will go out and want to get knives and want to do this and want to hurt somebody over bars.
Yes, Jasmine, each one teach one. That is just the best saying. It's like a proper hip hop saying when it comes to DJs and stuff like that. I love it. But with what you're saying, Angelina, I think like it's more about educating these younger people at an earlier stage now, where what's in terms of how they're interpreting the music, it's not our fault. It's a sense of the misleading that they've had up to there. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the upbringing and challenges that you face and knowing yourself, I think like there's a lot of people that, you know, I mean, God, I was like 20, 25, 24, 25, and I remember my head just falling off and being like, don't even know who I am. I'm like, I've had 3 children and, you know, I've had my own business, I've run my own salon, and I just don't even know. And what am I chasing here? Like, you know, I had to learn so much more about myself and just strip myself back to a point where it was like, you know what, if someone, because I thought way too much about what other people thought as well, and that's what held me back when it come to radio. I thought, you know, some people thought I was too much or they needed me in small doses, you know what I mean? And it's just like, can't handle the energy. If they can't handle that energy, that is on them. And that's what we need to learn. We need to learn more that actually what you say about me doesn't come past this bubble, because I know my worth. I know that I am good at X, Y, and Z. So what you say is irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's not my business. What you say is your business. And if you could go back to being in school and, you know, think about some of the basics that we were taught, if you haven't got anything nice to say in a controlled environment, you know what I mean? You can say those not nice things in a controlled environment, you know, battlegrounds and whatnot. But when you are out of them environment, it's important how you carry yourself as a person and how you treat other people. And it is a case of, you know, just give, and don't expect something back. But it does come. Like, it might not come tomorrow, might not come next week, but in time the universe will pay you back. Like, charge that to the universe, you know what I mean? Like, let any worries or any like conflicts of, you know, things that can be petty, because like you were saying, Angelina, some of the things that these kids kick off over now are like minor, you know what I mean? The gang and crime rate around my area has become rife, and you know, even the elders that were there when I was younger, who we sort of looked up to as elders on the estate, you know, these younger kids don't even fear them anymore. You know what I mean? These younger kids, they've got no well, it's like they've got no respect. Some of them, you know, got no respect. They're just all about respect to each other and their little brotherhood. But you know, when you speak to gang members, and you've actually spoke to gang members, like I have done through my radio like career and stuff, people who've been in, you know, quite Gooch, Doddington, you know, and they've come out of prison, and they'll tell you, this ain't a life that you want, mate. This isn't something that you want to do. If I could go back, I would. So why are you going to do something that I can tell you is horrible? Like, there's an amazing charity that I do some work with called the NSM Foundation here in Manchester, and it's ran by a girl called Natasha Sweeney. She was the female champion of Europe in Thai boxing. I'm pretty sure it was Thai boxing. No, I'm sure it was. But she was like female champion, and you know, she went through a car accident, went through a really rough time, had her own really bad experiences through life, and coming out of it, she decided that she wanted to teach girls combat and teach girls self-defense. So she did that, and she does it through dance. So she goes into schools and they do dance routines, but involving combat moves. And then all of these different schools come together and showcase their performances to each other in one big venue. Wow. And it's just a really amazing thing. That's for the girls. But what Mike Kosh has done this year is create a program for males, and he's bought a sweat box. So literally he will go with this sweat box and put, you know, get like a selection of boys that are doing this course, and, you know, literally taking them to have this experience, because you don't want to be there, you know, you don't want to be in this. This is, you know, he gives them like a challenge to do, where they put the like imitated cells within this building. He puts one kid in one. Obviously they've got the permission of parents, so not just locking these kids away. But they've got one kid in one cell and another one in the other, and they're both friends, and they give them some objects or whatever, and they say, right, now you've got to get that to your friend, and you've got an hour to do it. The point is, it can't be done. You are locked up in a cell, and that is that now. You know, you have lost your control, and you are now being controlled by someone else. And I think what you don't realize is the consequences that come with the things that you're doing. And it is, you know, guilty by association sometimes, and that's just the way it is. It, you know, that's the way the courts see it, guilty by association. You might have not done that, but it could have been your mate that you done it, and you just ran away from the scene. You know what I mean? You are now an accomplice to something that was planned against someone else or something. Or you could have technically been defending yourself, but you've carried the knife. You know what I mean? You've carried a knife because you've thought that other people on the street have a knife. Someone's come up to you and been threatening, and out of panic, you've just gone for your knife that you originally brought out for protection, you know, in defense. But now it's turned out that, you know, you've been the one to pull it out first or something. These are things that happen, but the court will just see it as, you are guilty, you have done this, and they're not going to listen to all of the other stuff.
In regards of all this, in all your amazing people doing so well, what are you actually doing, Lucy? What are you doing kind of within your Manchester community, helping the community? How are you kind of getting yourself out there, but helping youth and everybody?
Well, I'm going to be working alongside Natasha, hopefully doing some courses this year. We've only just kind of been able to go back into schools and stuff with, you know, the restrictions and all that kind of thing. And there's been a lot to kind of work out when it comes into the schools. But I'm hopefully going to be working with my community centre. We've got, like, on our estate, the housing association has started to build more houses, and they're going to be building a new community centre within our area. Now, our community centre hasn't been used very much for, like, youth support services. Like, we don't have youth clubs or anything like that in the area, in, like, multiple, like, parishes around our area. So, like, Partington, Sale, Stretford, Old Trafford, you know, they don't have, like, a youth club or hub. And I think this is something that really needs to be done. So at the minute, we're just in the process of trying to create a bit of a blueprint that can be rolled out to a number of community centres. So I'm trying to get them to build our community centre a little bit bigger than what their original plans are. Yeah. Get some sort of, like, music room in there, get, like, a room where we can do, you know, back to work, like, coaching, so that if you are struggling to get a job or find a pathway in something, it shouldn't be that you just, you know, go and get that 9 to 5, go and get that job at Tesco's, or go and get this, like, because they're not sustainable. You've got lots and lots of creative people who are being suppressed by doing a normal average 9 to 5, when they've got the brains and the talent and the passion and ability to do so much more, but you're just not giving them the avenue to do it. So I'm hoping that within my community, that's something that I can do, and get, obviously, especially more girls involved, and repping for the women, but also educating the young men. Like, I've got, like, a number of guys who are really current on the scene, and the males, and they're going to talk about males' mental health and just about re-educating young men, especially, like, how they carry themselves, how they treat women, how they treat other people, you know. And it's not really just for men. I think there's a lot of young girls now that have got a bad attitude. So I think it can be for everyone, can't it? I think whoever fits to need that assistance or want that guidance, just to be able to show that that is there for them is key, isn't it, really?
So what is your main point that you want to kind of do to help within the community? Because obviously, I know we have run over time, so we've kind of got to wrap it up for today's show. But I think we're going to have a round two, because Lucy's got a lot of stuff to talk about. She's hiding things, so people watch out for her. But we just need kind of something you could positively give out to the youth, but also something you want to do. So it's kind of to make yourself shine, but also just to help the youth at the same time. You've got to do two things at once.
I'd literally just like to be able to show people that there is opportunities there for people, and the world is so much bigger than this little society that you've been put in. And if we can do that, then even if you can do that for a handful of people, imagine the lives that you've changed with just a handful of people. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about being involved with Hearts of Talent, because what you're doing by going into all these boroughs, you're giving people something to aspire for. You're giving people a little bit of light at the end of a tunnel, and you're just waving it around like, come here if you want a bit of light. It's possible to dream big and be successful in whatever it is that you can do. It's just finding that thing that you can do, and don't second guess it. Don't keep procrastinating over it. Do it. You're your only barrier sometimes. So if I can work within the next year and roll out Hearts of Talent within Manchester and help it go bigger, we're like Liverpool, Birmingham, like we're coming for you. Jasmine, we're ready.
So in regards of that, you being a DJ, we've obviously got our auditions that are open, and we've got kind of rap spoken words. What key things would you give to them? Being on the radio, you hear music. What key things could you give to those young people that may be watching and maybe entering soon, but they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to send this out? What kind of inspiration can you give to them to
send it?
Send it to her. Let's hear it.
Listen, honestly, if you are looking to enter, like, if it's true to you and it comes with good intention, then it can only ever do good. Like, I think that if you come with a bad narrative, then it's not going to work. I think, what everyone needs now, and if COVID has taught us anything, we all need that positivity. But at the same time, don't be afraid to, be conscious. Like, we want to know, talk about the issues that we face, the barriers that we face, talk about real life stuff that is relatable, and you can't go wrong. And, don't think that when you're sending stuff in, because of maybe you've heard someone else's audition or something that someone else has done, and you think, oh yeah, but that's really good, I need to be more like that. That is not the answer. Be yourself, and listen, if you put 100 into it, then who knows, could be a winner chicken dinner.
And I've got to throw it out to the singers as well, because I missed that category out. They're the three categories that are involved in kind of like the music as well as dance. But I think we've got to close it. Sorry, boy. I think we've got to close it for today's show. But as you can see down below, our competition auditions are open. They are going through. On the bottom of the screen, we've got Lucy. Hopefully you might get Lucy involved in judging on the panel or something. Maybe you could be up there somehow, giving us our many influences, because I guess different technology up there compared to London, it's so different. Obviously you're not in our category because you're not in London, but
we've got loads, we've got absolute amazing talent here, and like there's just so many. Persia UK, like Renaissance, let me just tell you, go and listen to it. She's amazing. She's been noticed by gigs. She's already supported him. But she's from Manchester. She's been here from like day one. Queen of the North, we call her. But there's so many more, like Wanda. She just got Track of the Week with BBC Radio 1 introducing. But yeah, thanks so much for having me, guys.
Manchester.
I got one more announcement. I was just told.
Oh,
so
drum roll.
Hot to Talent is coming to Manchester, I think, for a performance. So we are coming there for a performance. So
yeah. So I did mention Rebecca McAllister. I'll be dead quick with this, I promise, Angelina. So I did mention that I was working with Rebecca McAllister. She's also a mental health advocate. She's created the MAC Hub in Walkden, saved 57 lives from suicide. She was Playboy model in America. She's done loads of different modeling stuff now that she's got a little bit older and had children. She's moved away from that, and she's really become a proper advocate for mental health. I'm working with her. She's got a sponsor, which is called James Clothing. This is a guy who's, I think, I'm not going to say where I think he was from. I can't remember, so I might get it wrong. But he's really, really good. He does amazing fashion. It's called James Clothing, and he gives 20% of all of his proceeds to the MAC cast and the mental health project. And Rebecca is interviewing loads of like famous faces about real life problems that they all face, and each video has the problem and then has their like happy ending and the solution, just to show that no matter what struggles that we go through, you know, talk it out. You can work through things. Like, everyone needs you here. This is the best place for you to be. And she does that. So we've got a like huge opening event in August, and I am sort of leading a little bit of a lineup. I've been given some responsibility.
You Hearts of Talent are coming. Am I hearing that Hearts of Talent are having a call on that?
Hearts of Talent. Amoy will be performing.
Yeah.
Right there. I'll be spinning there. Hearts of Talent will be here.
Celebrating. Guys, go regional.
Yes. We love it. We love it. So yeah, that'll be happening in August.
Everyone support this brand. It's a youth brand, my friend. So, you know, I'll be coming with some different stuff. We'll also be doing little mini stuff for everybody. So if you guys know anyone that has a talent, we'll be inserting mini clips at the end of every podcast. So if anybody knows anybody that wants to submit something, we will do that.
Lucy's the girl.
And Lucy is your plug. So make sure you guys get in touch with her.
I'm going to give you my email. It is thetytshow@outlook.com. You heard it here first, because I don't often give it out like this. But Hearts of Talent have got me. So yeah, you can send your music over to me. If we can play it here in Manchester and support, we absolutely will. And lastly, if you can all go and follow the Manchester Hip Hop Archive, MHHA.
Is it?
Repping for the women and for all of the hip hop, the culture and everything. We're absolutely here. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. We took some real nuggets, and I'm just going to say it out there. I'm assuming it's going to be part 2, because we just covered so much, or so little actually, because we got a bit carried away with everything. But it was so intense. It was really good, especially for our women watchers and subscribers. So guys, if you can like and subscribe the channel, keep an eye out for Lucy, keep an eye out for Amoy, because I'm throwing Amoy up there in Manchester somewhere. Lucy is going to invite her. Hearts of Talent is going regional.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lucy. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm just so honoured and so proud to be a part of it. I just think what you're doing is amazing. It's definitely something that's needed within community, and it's only right that we get loads of little people just like us from all these different cities, and we all just team up and UNITY.
Lucy, we want to thank you for being our ambassador as well.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
So
But
thank
yeah.
you, guys. Amoy, are you going to close us out? Do we have a video for today's show?
No, we don't have a video for today. I think we'll be coming next week.
Okay, so next week.
Let me close up. So we was hearts to hearts, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And hit your notification bells. Mom's telling me this as it's going.
Ding!
Make sure you guys hit the notification bell to get notifications. Go to the
Share
Instagram.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Share it on
Share
Facebook.
it.
You want to share it on WhatsApp, anything. Follow each and every one of us. I feel like it's going to be somewhere in the description. So yeah, thank you guys for watching today, and hope you guys took every nugget and every lesson that we spoke about.
Thank you.